G'day legends, I hope you're all amazing. On today's video I want to show you some fun flanger tips and tricks that you can use on just about any flanger. I have the new Past Effects ATA MN3007 edition here. If this feels like deja vu, I did do a video recently with their ATA flanger. That one uses a rarer, more expensive chip, whereas this one uses the widely available MN3007 chip. Makes the pedal easier to actually produce because they can get the chips. It makes it cheaper, and they've gone and actually added some extra functions to this one, which is always a win. So the first little tip on here is that basically, if you've got a flanger that has a feedback or a resonance or an enhance control like this one has, you can turn it all the way down and you've got yourself a chorus. So let's play the essential chord for any modulation pedal and hear it. Now, this particular pedal and the original ADA that it is based on refer to feedback as enhance. So with the enhance all the way down, there's no feedback being added to the circuit. If you want to learn more about how a chorus or a flanger basically work and the key differences between them, I've got a video with legendary ex-Marshall engineer Santiago Alvarez up on my channel. I'll link it at the end of the video. But basically keeping the enhance out of there and then playing with the manual control, if you've got a manual control on there, essentially sets that chord delay time on there, and you can emulate different chorus styles. So something like a boss chorus might have a slightly shorter delay time than, say, an electro-harmonics chorus, and having those controls available on a flanger just gives you that extra versatility. Before we move on and hear another little fun trick you can use related to the manual control, what I'm going to do is bring some of this enhanced control into that core chorus style sound that I've dialed in, and I'll demonstrate what this little bass cut switch does on the pedal. Essentially, it is going to remove low end just from the feedback, so it can stop it getting too boomy, which is really handy if you want to play this with some dirt, which I'll also show you. And I'll also flip between the positive and negative feedback modes on here. So we'll start off with the bass cut switch out. I'll bring the enhance up, I'll bring it in, and then I'll flip between the feedback mode. pretty much just play with that bass cut switch engaged on there. I find it just tightens everything up and it makes it a little easier to discern the dry signal from the affected signal in there. The next little trick on here is what I like to call a fixed flanger, where basically you take the depth control, or the range as it's called on here, you turn it all the way down, and this means that we are just solely using the manual control on there and disabling the built-in LFO. So this manual control is going to set a very short delay time, and when we blend that short delay time in with our unaffected signal, we get a type of filter called a comb filter. When we add either positive or negative feedback to that comb filter, we basically increase these resonant notches or peaks that are occurring on there. Again, if you want to learn more about this, go and check out my last video with the ADA, or the video that I did with Santiago. Again, I'll include them at the end of the video. But this can be a really fun way to get something that might resemble a cocked wah in some places, might just resemble a flat boost you get from a distortion pedal. It's a great way to add some character, especially to your dirty tones. I'm going to start with the manual control all the way down. I've got the bass cut switch in, I've got enhance at noon on there, and I will flick between the two feedback modes, either positive or negative on here. So I've basically disabled this range control. There's no swoosh, it's just going to be that fixed comb filter effect. Let's bypass it and then engage it. We can take that little trick even further by cranking up the enhance control with positive feedback. What this is going to do is essentially create a resonator style effect on here. So those comb filter peaks will be at very specific intervals. When I play a particular note that's either on those resonant peaks or close to it, that note is, going to kind of take off, almost giving me like a faux sitar style effect. This is awesome when you combine it with some delay after the pedal. Let's have a listen to that. We can expand on that using a unique feature of this particular pedal, which is the threshold control. Basically, if I set it right, I can play nice and softly and I'll hear no effect. When I pick a little bit harder, the effect will blend in. It sounds like this. And the last one I feel is a universal rule for modulation pedals, whether it is a chorus, a flanger, or a phaser. If you can control the speed and the depth independently, and on a flanger, the manual, what you do is you turn the depth all the way up and the speed all the way down. This is going to give you a really long and slow sweep, which may seem hard to detect sometimes. And on this particular pedal, I think the sweep can get close to around 30 seconds. It's one reason people really admire the original ADAs in there. That is particularly long, but this is a great way to just add a very subtle amount of variation to your core tone in there. The slow sweep barely makes it noticeable, but it will be more enjoyable than the dry sound. One of those kind of things you may not notice that it's on, but when you turn it off, you miss it. I particularly like this with flangers and phasers for playing lead guitar, because you can just add a very subtle textural shift in there. What I will do is let you hear it clean on here, where I've set it up for the maximum possible sweep, and then again, we'll hear some dirt. Now, whether you like to use a flanger as a kind of substitute for a subtle chorus, or whether you love it for the over-the-top jet plane noises, hopefully this video will give you some new fun tricks to use on your flanger pedals. If you want to learn more about this particular one, I will post a link in the video description. Past Effects pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they send out Tim Tams and other Aussie snacks with their pedals. And let's face it, if you've never tried a Tim Tam, you've probably never really lived life to the fullest. Thanks to Verly at Past Effects for sending this one out for me to check out. Again, if you want to learn more, check the video description. The videos that I talked about that I would link should be on the screen right now, so why not click on them and go and learn something. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.